Okay, everybody. So, welcome back. This is Ian from Mindful Marketplace. This is the final video we're going to do today. It's November 8th. And essentially, we're going to really quickly cover a final workbook on what I think are the 17, sort of simple truths about using card to build your brand, to build your business, and to build your bank account as a web designer, as an online consultant, as a marketing coach, as a digital media brand, or a marketing studio. And I captured all these in a workbook that's available in our course community. If you're in our course community, it's here. It's at the very end. I'm going to add it in a minute. For everybody else, if you're watching this on YouTube, where I'll post this as well, this is just a simple overview of, I think, the most important takeaways if you're considering using card to build your home-based marketing business. So, or, you could have an office somewhere too. It doesn't matter. But nonetheless, I do a lot of recordings on card simply because I like it. It's good for me with my design chops, which I don't have many of. So I'm not a coder or a really naturally gifted designer, but I can really quickly, create these great looking websites using card and templates and all that sort of stuff that people really seem to like. For my purposes, I use it majoritively for my own products, my own courses, landing pages, testing different offers in the world for either myself or partners or clients. But it's not, it's not this kind of amazing end all be all only option for those of you who are selling services, right? It doesn't have, I mean, I would argue it does have superpowers, but it doesn't have superpowers that are so much different than everything else that's similar out there in the world that you only can use card or nothing. I mean, that's just not true. And I think the reason I focus on it so much is because I think it's really good for my particular skill set, my projects, my platform, and most importantly, my community. So, folks who are generally in my entrepreneurial orbit or like me, they're marketers, writers, teachers, communicators, not designers. So I think it's a really good, choice for us. All right. The most salient attribute that card has to my eye is speed. You can build, viable websites, products, landing pages for your clients literally from scratch in under 20 minutes. I've done so many videos where I've demonstrated this, including one just an hour or two ago. So you can see that, on our YouTube channel or on my personal YouTube channel. The speed element is so important because you can do 4 or 5 of these an hour, even if you wanted. And even if you're selling them for $50 for a year to a client, that's still a couple $100 an hour, potentially, if you have enough clients. All right. Number two is scale. You can scale up your business very, very easily using card in a way that you can't do with some of these other solutions. So every single WordPress site that I add, for an example, to our WordPress, managed hosting account has a cost to me, right? There's a price that I'm paying for that. And with card, there's really not. You can buy 500 sites, and if you're selling them for $50 or $100 or $500, they're only costing you a couple dollars per installation or per instance. So you can really, really scale up your business very quickly on a bootstrap budget without having to make an upfront investment of a significant amount of money. And you can always just buy more sites too. If you need another 100, that means that business is good, right? If you're spending another $70 on 100 sites and you're selling those 100 sites for $100 each, that's $10,000 in profit for a $70 investment. All right. And simplicity, obviously the simplicity of card is something I focused on a lot in the past. It's very easy to make edits. Again, you're just editing and, and changing anything that you want on the fly very, very quickly. And, there's really no other platform that makes this easier, in my view, than cards. That's a really strong selling point for me. I covered this already in a different angle above, but price per site is very low. In other words, the instance that you're paying for the card is like a couple dollars relative to the value that you're selling. Even if you're selling a website that's $50, that's ridiculously, insultingly low of a price, right, for a professional, but you're still 10xing, 20xing, 30xing your investment. All right, the integrations are awesome. There's a lot of back end offer opportunities by dint of the integrations. For an example, if you're building a newsletter like this, or if you're building a site that has a a newsletter. Let me pull this up really quickly so I can show you, like something like this one here, right? I mean, you can give this away or sell this for almost nothing, but sell a high-end newsletter service to your clients and just give them a good landing page as part of the offer, right? Just sell the landing page for $50, but then sell a $500 a month newsletter marketing service. All right, let's go back. I've covered testimonials. This is just a great way of building an entire business around card and a separate service. In this case, the testimonial, software, which allows you to build these great looking landing pages for your clients that feature all the nice things people in the world are saying about their product, their restaurant, their law firm, their aesthetic or cosmetic surgery, their lawn care. It doesn't matter, right? There's so many different ways of doing this. Gumroad products, you can go out and just find a shit ton of Gumroad product sellers and just offer them card landing pages for their products. They will convert better, right? Here's another truth. It's not ideal for blogging. I've had a couple people who were interested in signing up for our course, which you can see here. I keep on coming back to that record screen, which I shouldn't, but it's not good for that, right? So if you're looking at selling blog-based services to clients, don't use card. It's not a good solution for that. Instead, it's ideal for selling Linktree, link in bio, bio.fm, about me style landing pages. I covered that in another video today. Very, very easy to do. And, speed, simplicity, you can't find a better solution, in my view, than card for those sorts of pages or websites for a design agency or a development studio. It's great for MVP style product launches, testing for traction, testing for interest, seeing if people are actually going to buy the thing that you want to sell. It's really great for that sort of offer. And I do a lot of this myself. I mean, minimum viable product launches where I'm testing a course or I'm testing a new product or a book or something, an ebook or whatever. But, card makes it very, very easy to create these very, very quickly, especially when you have templates, right? So as you can see here, let me move up. If you go, here are 18 templates that I have. Let's say here's a book template, a newsletter template. Here's another newsletter template, an agency template, a link in bio template, another link in bio template. I mean, all these are really, really easy to templatize. And, it just makes it really great to create a single template and then test a different offer and that you don't have to redesign the landing pages. All right. So another sort of demerit or another kind of a negative for some folks is there aren't a ton of great theme shops or design stores like with WordPress. You have just a ton of different themes. I mean, thousands and thousands of themes and designs to choose from. Card doesn't really have that. I have a bunch. I've made a bunch. I've had a couple made for us. I've bought a bunch. I mean, when I say I've made a bunch, I've made edits to previous designs that I've customized to be our own, but I'm certainly not a designer. You really don't need a phenomenal assortment of different card designs to do really, really well with Card. I mean, you can create great looking landing pages for your clients, great looking landing pages for your MVP offers, for your books, for your products, for your courses. But if you're really looking, if you're really used to WordPress or something like that, there's not anywhere near the amount of themes or designs in the public sphere that you can purchase. All right. Don't get caught up on Card when selling sites. Again, I had someone in my one of my course communities, actually someone that I'm working with directly, but who was really, really overselling Card as a phrase to his clients, right? Like, kept on like talking about Card. People don't care about Card. They don't know. I mean, like they're not designers. They're real estate agents. They're financial advisors. They're accountants. You can't like just continue to like, talk about Card. It's simply a piece of software that you're using that doesn't even have to come up in conversation unless you wanted to. You certainly can describe in the right set of circumstances why it's preferable over what they're using or why it's advantageous. But people generally just want something that looks great for a great price, that's easy to edit if they need to. And, something like Card is ideal for that, obviously. And again, it's not the only tool out there for the job. There are other, there's Framer, there's Webflow, there's TypeDream. There are many, many different platforms out there now to choose from the standpoint of design. Card is just really, really easy to use, and it's easy to use for great looking websites that are one page focused, that are beautifully designed, but that aren't overly sophisticated. I mean, I can also see where people who are, much more adept designers than I am would not, or maybe than you are, you would kind of want to use a more sophisticated tool like Webflow or something like Framer, even with some of Framer's advanced options, or WordPress, or even coding their own thing. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of different software design platforms out there now that you can use to build great looking websites. Card's not the only one. So I don't want to like kind of focus on just Card for those of you who are more design sophisticated than I am. All right. And as I mentioned here, there's TypeDream, there's Framer, there's lots of other options. There's Squarespace, there's Ghost, there's WordPress. There are one page WordPress sites. I've been using actually a one page, like kind of link in bio style WordPress theme that I bought that's really, really attractive to me. It's a lot more work than Card, but it has some WooCommerce integrations, et cetera, et cetera. So that makes it, for some products or some pitches, a better or a more fun alternative for me. All right, if you're selling services with Card, start with a very specific niche. This is really important. You don't want to just make it like completely like everybody is not your audience. Pick a specific niche and just start there. Financial advisors, florists, car detailers, carpenters. I mean, these are not the ideal niches. I mean, financial advisors, life coaches, CPAs, people who own restaurants, local business owners, etc. People who don't have an existing website is a perfect niche for Card. And the way you find them is go on social media, pick your niche, and then go out and reach out to those folks and solve a real problem that they really have and they understand. Like, for an example, they don't have a website, or they have a Instagram profile that's not optimized for, or an Instagram a link on their Instagram profile that's not optimized for conversion. So if they're sending folks to their, main website and that's not really converting for them, a Card link in bio, Linktree style page will convert much, much better. Or if they don't have any landing page, or it's a bad landing page, or a page, like I said here, that doesn't have all the information easily accessible to their audience, right? Which is why something like a Linktree style page is so appealing. And forgetting about Card, it's just appealing to everybody in the world. That's why there are so many services now that do this. Bio.fm, About Me, Linktree, Link in Bio. And there's just a shit ton of these services coming up all the time because it's a model that works. It's been proven that, by dint of the hundreds of thousands of people who use those sort of curated pages that show all their links, everything they're doing in the world, in one kind of concise, compact container. That kind of landing page is far better than just sending somebody to like a WordPress homepage or whatever, where people are just kind of they look for a second and they bounce away. All right, and then don't be afraid to give it away. I try to tell people this all the time. I mean, you can do something in 10 minutes and then use that to sell a big back end offer, something like newsletter marketing, content curation. Testimonials is just a fantastic opportunity. I've covered this in some other videos. If you're interested, check out the videos that I have marked on YouTube, because they're free on YouTube. Just testimonials you can integrate with a script, with a line of code, and you can build these great looking landing pages that curate all of the nice things people are saying about the business. This is your client, obviously, the business, and people are really, really happy with that sort of solution. And this is the last thing. I mean, this is really important. Email outreach or social media outreach is everything. If you have a really thin skin, if you're really easily offended or upset, selling services using email outreach or social media outreach ain't going to make you happy. And the reason it's not, because rejection is more common than getting people to say yes, or people saying yes. I mean, if you're closing 20% of your outreach, you are like a world class persuader, right? If you're closing 10% or you're converting 10%, you're good and doing well, and you're going to be making a lot of money. But that still means that 90% of people aren't interested. 80% of people, in the 20% example, are not interested. Some of those people who are not interested will say things that you don't like. Like, I've had plenty of people saying, insulting things, like they'll just tell you to disappear, go away, that you're annoying or whatever. And, if that offends you or makes you uneasy, then you just have to toughen up and understand that every one of I hate to be like one of these like sort of sales cliche machines, but every one of those no's gets you closer to a yes. And that's really fundamentally true. Like, I'm not a very salesy person. I'd rather just provide incredible amount of value to somebody and have them see like how good of a partnership we would make if I'm working for them or working together with them to help them succeed. But, again, you are going to get people who are going to ignore you most commonly, and you're going to get a couple people every week who are going to say something that you don't like, something like, go away, disappear, this is spam, any of those things. It's not spam if you're emailing or outreaching to businesses. So just accustom yourself to the fact that there are many assholes in the world, and there are people who are having bad days and people who are just not nice, and just keep smiling and just keep moving on and keep doing well for yourself, your family, and your future. All right, so there are 14 or 15 simple truths. Some of these are kind of duplicates, so I don't want to say it's 17, but there's probably 14 good recommendations here with respect to Carrd. If you're interested in joining our next course cohort, you can click on the link, which will take you here, which is our course community, and it'll give you access to me as well, and I can help you build your brand and your business with pretty much guaranteed success. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. Thank you as always so much for watching. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.